Okay, welcome everyone. This is Cards and Coffee with Colleen and Kathi. This is the November 2024 edition. And Kathi and I have been doing this Cards and Coffee event for well over a year. I don't even know. It might be 2 years now. Who knows? But we try to get together once a month, and it's always on a Sunday. It's always from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern time, just so that you kind of know ahead of time. You can find this and all the other events that I'm doing on my meetup page if you so choose to connect to that way rather than just haphazardly hoping that you see it on social media. And my meetup page is Sacred Soul Empowerment. And that's also the name of my website, Sacred Soul Empowerment. I'm an intuitive reader. I do Akashic records, astrology, numerology, name vibration, tarot divination cards, and the clairs to receive messages and share them with you. And I also am a healer, Reiki Master, past life regression, hypnotherapy, Ho'oponopono, and I teach a lot of different classes and workshops, which you'll see if you do join my meetup group. You'll see all the other either free or paid offerings as far as all the different things that are going on there. I think that's my introduction. So I'm going to let Kathi introduce herself before we talk a little bit about the collective energies.
Hi, my name is Kathi Munson. I am owner of Voices of Enlightenment. My website is intuitivecat.com because we're working currently on the Voices of Enlightenment website. I've been on this path for 22 years. I have been seeing spirit since I was a little child. I'm a psychic medium. I'm a Reiki Master teacher for 21 years. I also do multidimensional healing and also do a lot of seeing work because I tend to be an intuitive and a seer. So everything tends to be very visual for me. I do a lot of classes, just like Colleen. I work with past lives. I work with a lot of guides and teach people on how to build this connection, not so much this connection. So I'll just say that. But because I'm visual, that's why I love cards because pictures can take me everywhere I need to go. It's the way I think of it. So yeah. So website's intuitivecat.com. I actually am working with, I also have Voices of Enlightenment on Facebook, myself on Facebook, Intuitive Cat on Facebook. And yeah, you can reach out to me through all of that if you should need anything. So
Yeah, it's
that's
almost, I think about how long Kathi and I have been doing this. She's said over 20 years. I'm like over probably 22 years at this point, and so I guess we're kind of giving our age away a little bit, but this is what we do. This is who we are, and we try to follow our life's mission. So if we can help you all in any way, even outside of this, please let us know. So we're going to talk a little bit about the collective energies and share a couple of the messages that we got regarding what's going on. Of course, I like to start with some of the astrology that's going on because I am, an astrologer. So we just had that full moon on Friday, right? And at first, I thought, okay, full moon in Taurus, you think it's going to be kind of calm because Taurus is a grounded earth sign. But then it was connecting to this planet called Uranus, the Great Awakener. And so it really felt like there was a lot going on with the physical body, I think, within people. And we also had the planet Saturn, which is known as the teacher of karmic lessons, where we're dealing with our karma from this life and past life, and we're supposed to learn what we're supposed to learn, what he's trying to teach us. Excuse me. Saturn also turned direct on the day of the full moon on Friday. And we've got what I heard in my meditation before we hopped on Zoom here is a changing of the guards. That's what I heard them say, a changing of the guards. And what they mean by that is that we're moving very soon out of Scorpio season, right? The sun is still in Scorpio for just a couple more days here. And that's a feminine sign. The Taurus full moon, that was a feminine sign. So we're moving from feminine energy, which is more about surrender and healing and going with the flow and tapping into our psychic senses. And we're very soon going to be going into Sagittarius. Actually, November 21st is when the sun moves into Sagittarius. But along with the sun moving into that masculine, inspirational fire sign of Sagittarius, we also have Pluto, which is the planet of death and rebirth, transformation and change. You may have heard people, on the internet or social media saying, oh yeah, Pluto's moving back into Aquarius for the next 20 plus years on November 19th. And Aquarius is a masculine sign. And so I think they were letting me know that we're moving out of this more kind of feminine energy right now, even though the year of 2024 is more of a masculine energy overall. But we're moving out of this feminine kind of go with the flow and allowing healing to take place within us. And we're moving into now more of an active energy here in the next few days, an active, visionary, implementing new ideas, coming up with new perspectives, new ways of doing things, and really kind of activating on a mental body level what it is that we want to do and how we want to move forward. Now, in my meditation, I'll just share a couple of messages, but I really got communication was very important right now and creative self-expression through your thoughts, ideas, and communications. And that's not a big surprise because Mercury, the planet of communication, is going to go retrograde on November 25th for most of December. We're already in its shadow, so you might already have some miscommunication or missed meetings or technology mishaps, and things like that going on because of the Mercury retrograde. But that really is focusing on, again, the idea of communication and being in the sign of inspirational, fiery, visionary Sagittarius. This is about our creative self-expression and kind of rising to new heights, mentally speaking, with our again, ideas and perceptions. They talked a lot about balance in my meditation here, balancing the yin and yang energy, the feminine and masculine energy. So we already kind of talked about how we're moving sort of out of feminine into masculine, but we're also balancing that within ourselves. And I feel like, again, this full moon and Saturn turning direct on Friday, I think that really activated a shifting within us. And that could have been, again, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. But we're here, we're balancing certain energies. They talked about heightened awareness and the clairs kind of being activated for all of us on a collective level. So your claircognizance, clairaudience, clairvoyance, clairsentience, all your intuitive abilities are being heightened and more activated. And then they talked about, and this kind of goes with that full moon in Taurus, because Taurus is a sign that is about self-value and self-worth. Yes, Taurus is about money and finances and whatnot, but it's also about our values and how we value ourselves and how worthy and deserving we feel. And they talked about believing in yourself in my meditation, believing in yourself, knowing that you're worthy and deserving of whatever, dreams or hopes, aspirations that you have. So know that it's not too late. You're not too old. It's not, you're not running out of time. It's like, know that you can manifest because Taurus, where we had the full moon, is a manifestation sign. So you can manifest whatever it is you desire, but you have to believe in yourself and believe in your dream as well. And I think that's almost about it, except for they came in with a lot of ancestral energies. So I think we've been working with our ancestors, our spiritual and our biological ancestors have kind of, we again have been in Scorpio season and still are for a couple of days. And that's really going down deep. That's really clairsentient and feeling the energies, very psychic healing energies happening. So I think our ancestors are definitely there and helping us and moving through some karmic redirection and healing some of those subconscious patterns and moving towards a sense of creating our dharma instead of and releasing our karma. So not being stuck in the karma. And karma doesn't mean bad anyway. I mean, karma can be good karma too, but it's like let's heal the old and move into like our new path, our dharma and what we're here to do. And especially as we go into 2025, that's going to shift the energy dramatically too, to where it's going to be a year of service and holding space for one another and allowing healing personally and on a collective level as well. All right, Kathi?
As usual, I agree with a lot of what Colleen says, so I'll just say that. But I was getting a lot of like not always believing in what you're seeing out here and sort of looking for the bigger picture. Like there's a lot of self-centeredness, a lot of collective bringing yourself in, focusing on self. Where do you want to go? What do you want your life to be? Like it truly is a time for us to stop waiting for things. Like, well, I'm going to stay here because I have 3 more years till I retire. That's all well and good, and I'm not saying that's not a good thing, but it's allowing yourself to say, okay, what if you're not here in 3 years? What if the golden handshake is no longer there in 3 years? It's sort of allowing yourself to say, but is that what you really want? And now is a time for us to create the things that we really believe within ourselves. It's interesting because I'm just going to show you a card that came up that means a lot to me. So a lot of people tend to not like spiders. I was one of those lovely people at one point in my life. And it says tell your story on the bottom of the card if you want to know what it says on the bottom. But that doesn't always mean something to me. I always think of grandmother spider in shamanic terms and shamanic connections with totem animals. There's somebody had introduced me to grandmother spider because I was just having a lot of spiders around me at the time. Spiders at the time were not one of my favorite creatures, so I'll just say that, but they don't bother me anymore. So I will also say that. But it's about reweaving the web, like reweaving your life, recreating a new web because they tear their webs down and then they rebuild. Like within seconds, you're like, how did you build that so fast? If you walked away and then you walk back and see something, it's literally telling us that we can create what we need to create within ourselves and not always be tossed or brought aside by what's going on out here. And so we know that there's a lot of controversy that's happening in our universe. We'll just call an ace an ace. It is what it is, but it's looking beyond that. It's like not always believing like what's at face value, paying attention, but looking beyond and seeing, well, where am I? What do I want? What do I want to create? How do I want to grow and evolve and shift and change and move forward? Like to me, that's the most important thing. It's like create your own paradise, which was another card that came up for me, which are very feminine. It's a very feminine deck of cards, which is interesting that Colleen says we're moving from feminine energy. I think we're moving into stronger feminine energy. That's what I keep getting. Is that we know as women, those of us that are women, and nothing against the men, so I'm just going to say that because we all have masculine and feminine energy in us, that we can literally be calm and healing and grow and evolve, and we can be really strong when we need to be. And that's a lot of what, and it's not that men don't have that. In some ways, I think men were given a bill of goods at the beginning of their lives that they needed to be this, and this, and that's not how I think. I never will be a person that a round peg and a round hole. That will never be me. So, allowing yourself to say, okay, well, this is what I choose to believe in. This is how I'm going to move forward. This is how I'm going to walk and grow and evolve forward. And I love that Pluto is going into Aquarius because I'm going to be so excited when Pluto goes into Aquarius because I love the energy. It just feels good. And I'm not an astrologist, just so you all know, but it feels good to me and it feels right to me. And it feels like it's a place that we need to be able to evolve and grow and get our universe to be back to love and peace and working together and building together and growing together and evolving together. But you have to have that within yourself before we get there. You have to know what you're looking for you and where you want to share that energy with others when it gets to that point. It's incredibly important. And that's a lot of why we are having health concerns. I've heard, I was just telling Colleen this before we came on. A lot of people are talking about headaches. I have had headaches. It's never an issue I've had, but I've had headaches. I've been feeling horrible. Like I have days where I feel good. Like literally yesterday was a great day. Today, maybe not so much, but I mean, I do feel good today. But it's that kind of like, what is going on? There's like not even any question about what's happening. It's sort of expansion energy. It's us releasing the old and moving into the new and allowing, and our bodies are going to feel it and sense it and grow and evolve also. So allowing yourself to, if you need downtime, take it, and just realize that, okay, today I just need to shift and allow my human self to do whatever is going to happen today. So for me, that's pretty much what it is. I'm just keep getting transformation, transformation, transformation is the word that keeps coming with me, and trust and faith. That's the biggest thing that I hear a lot and have been hearing it probably way before the election came was to have trust and faith, trust and faith, trust and faith. So that's what I got. and I'm
Let
going
me
to
just
leave
bounce
it
off
there.
of Kathy for a moment here. So, first of all, when I said we're moving into masculine energy, I mean on a short-term basis when the signs are shifting into masculine signs. But that's overall, I agree with Kathy. Overall, we're moving into the divine feminine energy. And especially 2025 is hugely going to be a push towards that divine feminine energy. And I also want to bounce off of what she said about coming together and being excited about Pluto moving into Aquarius because for the last 20 plus years, Pluto, transformation, change, death, and rebirth, um, kind of tearing down something that no longer is valid. It's been in Capricorn for over 20 years. And Capricorn, and no offense, nothing bad against Capricorns, because there's light side and shadow side qualities to every sign of the zodiac. But one of the things Capricorn rules is the patriarchal paradigm. It rules the patriarchy and big business and people in power and things of that, authority, that are seemingly where they try to be above, the little guy and whatnot. And so Pluto has been dismantling over the last, 20 plus years, slowly but surely, dismantling some of that. And as Kathy said, when Pluto moves into Aquarius, Aquarius rules it rules the collective of humanity. It rules service to other people. It rules coming together with people of like mind for a common goal or cause. It rules the future. Kind of to me, Aquarius reminds me of the star card in the tarot, which is kind of about this future hope and dream, this renewed hope. And so as Pluto moves into Aquarius, we have renewed hope. It's going to be a long haul because again, it's going to be there for 20 plus years. But we're able to now start moving in a better direction. And one last message, they said no more hiding. All of you have gifts, talents, abilities. You're all light workers in some way, shape, or form. And they said it's time to come out. It's time to come out and be who you are. And that's part of the stripping away. That's part of, feeling not good physically sometimes because the physical body is dense. And a lot of these cosmic energies have been kind of stripping away some of the dense energy over time. And some of that, again, is the physical body. And the physical body has to catch up with our spiritual bodies, right? As far as our
Mhm.
evolution and growth. And so that's part of that. But don't hide anymore. It's time to come out and be your true and authentic self. Call on your ancestors. The Lemurians had come in earlier. So if you all who the Lemurians are, the lost continent of Lemuria, the healers, the ones that mostly, were of the light and good. And that's kind of some of our spiritual ancestors that are coming in to assist us right now. Anything else you want to say, Kathy?
No, I mean, I just agree with all of that. I'm excited. I'm excited for where we're going. I'm excited to see what's going to happen. I mean, the collective, I keep seeing us all working together. They actually keep showing me, which somebody, there's a couple of people on here that know that I've said this to them, but I keep seeing like the little houses all in a cul-de-sac, like all of us like taking your tribe and kind of like, let's all live and work together. It's like those communes back in the day, they knew something. Hopefully I'm talking about the positive ones, not the
Yes, yes, yes.
there'll be no Kool-Aid drinking in our commune is all I'm gonna say. But yeah.
Right. All right. Well, let's go ahead. If you want a mini reading from Kathy and I, raise your etheric hand or your real hand and keep it up so we know. And Kathy and I just usually go with our guidance. And I'm gonna let Kathy choose first, but I want to say too, I will be asking for your date of birth so I could kind of look into that kind of vibration as Kathy begins. And then what else was I going to say? I don't remember, so I guess it's not important. So, Kathy, do you want to choose first?
Sure. I already know where I'm going because just what really pulled me in. So I keep looking at Kelly, and you did have your hand up, but then now your hand's not up. So I hope that's okay that we choose you. Hopefully you didn't change your mind. We do need your date of birth if possible.
Is Kelly here?
She's there.
Oh,
She's trying to
oh,
unmute herself. There you
oh.
go.
It's 4/30, 1967.
4:30, 1967. And do you have a specific kind of question or focus that you want us to look at, or do you want to just see what your angels and guides have to say?
It sounds like Kathy has something that she wants to talk about, so
All
we'll
right.
just let her go and then I will maybe pose a question at the end.
Sure. Sounds great.
It's interesting. The biggest thing that I get is you have a lot of it. So I'm going to show you this picture because it's like, oh, yeah, totally get that. Because it's kind of a funny picture, but it's this woman with an octopus on her head.
Yeah, that is a funny picture.
And it kind of makes me laugh. It actually says hold true to your vision is what it says. No matter what distraction is in your way, it's like holding true to yourself. And the interesting thing is it's I keep getting this like I think I was pulled to you because I was getting a lot of like there's a lot going on around you. Like I just kept feeling like there was a lot of energy, like a lot of family things going on. It could be your inner family that you live with, could be your outer family that, I know the holidays are coming, so everybody gets a little stressed around the holidays. But I feel like it's bigger than that. I also feel like work is also it's like you're in this high energy phase is what it feels like to me. To where work is pulling you, family's pulling you. It's like and just feeling like okay, can y'all just like I can't take anymore. Can't do anymore. Can you just back away for a minute? Like let me breathe for a minute. And the interesting thing is I want to tell you to get out in nature. Like I know it's a cold time of year. I don't know where you live, but where I live it's a cold time of year. But even just like if you for a few moments like standing on your back porch and breathing and just taking in the energy and just kind of like allowing yourself to sort of just have a minute. Like I feel like you need a lot of air. Like you need to take a lot of deeper breaths and just kind of wait for a moment. There's also something pending that you are focused on and really hoping that things are going, but so I'm just going to say what I'm getting. You're doubting the trust and faith. Like you're in somewhere within you, you're doubting what could happen because I just keep wanting to tell you, believe in the impossible. Like when spirit wants to move us and spirit wants us to go to where we are aligned to go, they're going to get us there. Even if I don't care if you have a penny in your pocket and you're like, how am I going to get a house with a penny in my pocket? They will bring it to you. So I want to tell you just like hang in there because whatever it is you're trying to manifest for yourself, it's going to happen. It has to be, and I will tell you, we talk about divine timing all the time. We know that something is can't come to us until it's the right time for it to come to us. This is more important right now than ever. It's almost like it's on an intensified version of divine timing because everything has to be in alignment to move you in the basis that you're wanting to move. There's also something about your job that I feel is going to shift and change. I think, and again, not that you're not good at what you do, but I feel like you're almost going to get a new job or it's going to evolve into something new. It feels like a change, but it doesn't feel like a huge change. So it makes me think maybe within what you're doing, something new is going to show itself that will make you much happier to be able to work in what you do. What do you do, Kelly, for work?
I'm a relationship manager for a financial services company, and I call on financial advisors to work with them to make things better.
Neat.
And you're right, they are after the first of the year, there's going to be new training. They're going to realign our job duties, and I was thinking I might retire, but I still need money, so I don't know what's going to happen.
It's not you. I mean, you'll retire, but you're going to find something else to do because you're not the type of woman who's just going to sit around and do nothing. And there's
Yeah.
something like they want you to refocus at what you do. There's a part of your job that you really, really, really love to do. And so it's almost like you don't have to do this part, but focus on this part and do more of that. And I almost feel like something like it makes me feel like almost like you're going to be a like a per diem, like a consult. That's almost what it makes me they make me feel like you're going to be wanted and needed, but it can be your plan as to how you're wanted and needed. Does that make sense? You're really
Okay.
good at structure and focus, I will say that. Because that's what they keep telling me. So, it's like just kind of realigning yourself and bringing yourself back in and kind of just sit down and write. Even if they keep showing me you like to write things out because you like to see it. Is that true?
Yeah.
So they're telling me like write down what you love about your job. If you could create something of your own, what would that be? Because I truly feel like the knowledge that you have goes beyond what they think you have. Like you do your work beyond what they think you're doing. And again, I'm not telling you like once you leave, they're going to miss you because we know how big companies are. So I'll just say that. But I think the people will miss you. I'm not so sure the company will miss you. They'll just like put somebody else, another cog in the wheel, so to speak. but there's something where you can shift what you're doing into something of your own. So if you're going to retire, it's looking at creating a business of your own because I truly can see that. And I will tell you, astrologically speaking, because I'm not an astrologist, but I highly recommend that you work with Colleen on astrology or whoever you would want to, but I recommend Colleen because you have the mindset to do all of that. And I think you'd be brilliant at that. Anything that's detail oriented like that, like the numerology that she has coming up and the astrology that she has coming up, highly recommend you go check those out because you'd be brilliant at them. And that might even be what I'm talking about you creating for yourself because I could see that for what they're showing me. Just a suggestion. Like I always say, don't shoot the messenger. But the biggest thing that I want you to take away from this is believe in the impossible. If you don't know how something can be created and how something can be shifted, it's definitely going to be shifted. You're definitely going to be moved next year. Because by the time your birthday comes next year, and again, I'm not the astrologist, but I am an intuitive. By the time your birthday comes next year is going to be all about you finding yourself. Like I feel like now they're going to push, 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 push to get you in alignment to where you think you may want to go. And next year's all going to be about creating it, testing the waters. Like, I'm going to try this. And Kathi said I could do this. So I'm going to try this and let's see what happens. I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. And I know that you're going to take it even farther than that. I know that once you learn astrology and numerology, if you choose to, because I'll just put that, it's not like we're like telling you have to, you're going to evolve into something else. You're going to take that and you're going to evolve into something else. Something bigger and more profound and more detail oriented. It's almost like you see a pattern for yourself to create something specific.
So, uh, are you thinking that I'm moving at like going to stop what I'm doing and move in a complete different direction
I think you'll
or
continue to do what
evolve?
you do and create like a side hustle for yourself
Okay.
because you're not that trusting and you kind of know that. So you kind of need that pocket money. That's always what I say. You need the base money so that you know you're going to be okay to go and test the waters with this or test the waters with that. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But I will forewarn you. And, and I'm going to just, I'm chuckling because I'm sure Colleen's listening to me right now. I will forewarn you when spirit wants to move you, they will move you. And it doesn't always feel nice. So get your toe on the path, test the waters, check it out, see what it feels like to you, because at least spirit knows that you're trying to check things out. Because there's a big move coming for you next year if you don't align and get yourself more on that path.
Okay.
So there's your retirement.
Yeah, I can see that.
And
So,
eventually you'll be like, oh no, I'm doing really well. Like I don't have time for the daytime job anymore. I'm doing really well. I'm just gonna go with this.
okay.
So yeah. So with that, I'm gonna let Colleen take over and I'm gonna mute myself.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly.
I am going to bounce off a little bit later on what Kathi said, but I'm going to start first with the energy that you're currently in and the rest of this birthday year, which takes you up till your birthday on April 30th. And well, first they want to say that your energy to me is very like creative and expansive, but you're a Taurus, right? You're a
Yes.
grounded Taurus, but yet they're still saying there's an expansiveness, or there can be an expansiveness to your energy, or needs to be an expansiveness to your energy. So this is like all about different types of communication, speaking, teaching, writing, learning, teaching, all forms of creative energies is what you kind of come in with. And the current birthday cycle that you're in is about like the balancing of the feminine and the masculine. And it's about the balancing of the home and family arena or the inner emotional arena within you versus career, life purpose, who you are out in the world. So there's a balancing act kind of going on right now. Um, and speaking of like home and family, and I don't know exactly what this was about, but it felt like there was some, I don't know if I want to call it a drama or some sort of a, they were labeling it some sort of like attachment energy in some way, shape, or form. I don't know if that means somebody, is got attachments and you're kind of around them, but they were showing like this at least three people. So like you and at least two other people in some sort of situation of entanglement of some sort that's
You're
going on.
right.
I don't know exactly what that is, but they're saying there needs to be like a like removing your energy from it, pulling the cords from it. It doesn't mean you have to release yourself from them, but you're needing to kind of do a clearing. You know, you can call in Archangel Michael and like have him pull cords, do a clearing of whatever this like attachment energy is. And that might be like a certain idea, perception, or belief system, right? That maybe they're trying to, tell you is the right way. And it could be something as simple as that. It doesn't mean something, real hugely negative necessarily. With that being said, though, they were also talking about this being a time for you of like a huge karmic release. So you are going through, as a great many of us are, but going through this purging, releasing of old karmic patterns, old belief systems. And as you're releasing these energies, they said it's moving you more into an alignment with your divine mission, with like what your soul is here to do, at least in part in this lifetime. And they clearly gave me the phrase of you need to do the work. So you need to do the work, whatever that means. That could be do the work on yourself to release and heal whatever it is that you're needing to release and heal. It could be do the work as far as learning the new things that you might need to learn to be able to move into your divine mission. But it's going to take your active participation. It's going to take your ability to kind of, you know, it's not like I can sit down and surrender and just sit on the couch and let it all happen. You have to do something to make this happen. And they were saying that higher learning was involved. So I will agree with Kathi that there's some things to learn. There's some classes to take or books to read or, whatever it might be. And along with what they call higher learning that needs to be done, they also are, your angels and guides are assisting you with, as far as this kind of karmic cleanse and transformation, moving you more into a sense of your inner strength. They really brought that up a couple of times about moving into your inner strength. Um, and I'm going to show you these couple of cards because it comes from the same deck. And one it says the patriarch and it says unapologetic, but this is more like the divine masculine energy. And then the other one that came out was the mother of air, and this is more about feminine energy. But this one kind of caught my eye because it does say boundaries at the bottom. So I feel like this is like you needing to kind of step up or step into your truth or speak your truth and create good boundaries. And that could go back to that like entanglement situation that they were talking about, where there needs to be like some good boundaries there. Um, and now I'm going to touch on really briefly what Kathi was saying because about moving forward in your job and everything, because I agree that, you don't have to like make the change tomorrow, but it is coming up. They were talking about needing to take a bold step forward and you're going to like risk it all and, whatever. And again, that doesn't mean like quitting your job tomorrow, right? But you're like preparing. You're in this preparation stage of taking the actions needed to move you towards whatever that divine mission that they're talking about is all about. And there might be a point in time where you're going to risk it all and just say, you know what, I'm ready. I'm ready to move into it. I'm ready to do it, whatever that is. I'm going to take the leap of faith. I'm going to take the risk, and I'm going to do it. This is like the Ace of Fire, which is like new beginnings, new passionate, positive, inspirational, creative new beginnings that are coming in. Now, Kathi said within a year. I'm gonna maybe say between a year and a year and a half. I'm gonna extend that just a little bit. So again, don't feel pressured because Tauruses don't like to feel pressured, and Tauruses don't typically like to change. They like to stay in their comfort zone. So just move at your own pace, like a Taurus does. And the next birthday year that you're going into is going to be a lot about this kind of learning and gathering information and meditation on what it's all about and what to do next. And again, if there's any classes to take, I'm taking classes and researching and learning. But there's going to come a time that probably as we go into, if not before, as we go into 2026, where you're going to be ready or you're going to be more ready than you feel like you are now. So that's what I got for you, my dear. I hope that was helpful.
It was, and you both are very accurate. I am considering retiring at the end of the year. The entanglement is my daughter and her husband are divorcing. He's actually going to be incarcerated for a long time, and I need to step up and maybe watch her kids. It's really hard for me to give up my job because I am a Taurus, especially since they're going to make me change and maybe work more, not less. So I was considering learning palm reading. I am an intuitive. I do have some psychic ability, not a lot. And I was going to move into like learning palm reading or something like that just for a little bit of pocket cash.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep.
So lots of little tools on your tool belt is helpful. Like Taurus likes to focus on one thing. I don't know the rest of your chart. Maybe you've got some Gemini in there because sometimes whatever sign of the zodiac you're in, your Mercury, which is your mind, your thoughts, your communication, your ideas, it's either in the sign before, the sign of, or the sign after your Taurus sun sign. So I'm thinking, if there's Mercury and Gemini, that's like, let's learn a little bit about these things so that we have a basic understanding of a lot of different things that we can use as tools as we, move forward here. So, okay.
Anything else, Kathy?
You're wicked intuitive. That's exactly what I was saying. I'm like, you're not a little intuitive, you're wicked intuitive.
Yeah.
It's just you haven't given yourself a chance to really let it out there. You keep like holding it back and holding it back and holding because it doesn't fit into what you're doing for work right at the moment. So yeah, just remember not to forget to it's so what I'm getting, don't shoot the messenger, is that um you have to remember you and what you do forward. It's not that you can't help and watch the children. It's you've got to remember you because I feel like even that would be overwhelming. And then
Yeah.
you're gonna
Well,
That's
my
where the
daughter and
of
I,
creating the
self.
boundaries,
we tangle.
right?
Yeah,
Right.
we tangle and she's creating the boundaries. Like I still want to be the mom and like tell her what to do and she's like, "No, these are my kids," and
Yep.
so that's the
Good for
boundary.
her.
Yeah. And it
Good for
helps
her.
me like step back and like, yes, I raised my kids, right? So, but
Absolutely.
she still's going to need a lot of help. They're one turned 3 last week, and the other one's a year and a half, and it's a lot for one.
Wow.
She has no help, so I feel compelled to help her. And
Oh,
I'm kind of
absolutely.
tired of my job, so I'm willing to just try to make things work for all of us.
Absolutely.
My job's like, no,
Absolutely.
don't quit. You can't quit, and it's like, yeah, but I have these family things that are more important than you guys. So, like
I
you
almost feel
said,
like they're
how
going to
I
work
can
it out.
create it.
If you push the envelope, I get the feeling that they're going to work it out with you.
That's what I was just going to say is
That's
they're
why I
going
was
to let me
thinking the
do
per
whatever
diem
I
thing that I
want.
had talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
All right. Well, thank you.
phew.
I'll let somebody else have a turn now.
Thank you.
I
Thank
appreciate it.
you. Thanks, Kelly. All right. So I'm going to go to Danny. Danny, can you unmute yourself and let us know your date of birth?
Yes, it's uh July 1st, 1989.
I'm sorry, July 1st. What was the year?
89.
Okay, 1989. And do you have a
Mm-hmm.
specific focus or question or just whatever comes up?
Whatever comes up. I don't have any questions at the time right now. It's just yeah.
Okay, great. Kathy?
So it's funny that Colleen picked you because I knew she was going to pick you.
I knew you knew
That's
that I
why
was
I
going to
giggled when
pick.
you said that. I was like, I know she's going to pick him, which is funny because if she didn't, I was going to pick you next. So there we go.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah, we're
Thank
in
you.
alignment with who needed to be chosen. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So, it's interesting. The biggest thing that I got about you, Danny, is that, they were giving me a lot of information about like hiding, like not really have you like you're just starting to sort of like allow yourself to come forward with who you are, what you want to do, the things that you want to create for yourself. And that it's interesting. I was getting a lot of things like compassion, like create compassion, be tender. Um, but I feel like it's for you. It's like you need to stop like self-assessing too deeply, kind of cut yourself some slack. That's kind of like what I would be saying if it was my children. I'm like, well, you cut yourself some slack. Um, but allowing yourself to sort of see the goodness within yourself and what you want to put out there and thinking that I don't know what your astrology sign is, so I'm just going to say that, but it makes me feel like you go back and forth.
Cancer.
Like it makes me think of Gemini, I believe. Oh, well, yeah, because he's July, but
It's Cancer.
makes me think almost like of Gemini, like the two different sides of who you are. Like you go back and forth with yourself. Like you question a lot and you question a lot about yourself and you self-assess and self-think. That's just the
No,
feeling that
that's
I get.
me.
What, Danny?
I said that's me. That's definitely me.
Yeah, so it's almost like, well, I'm going to try this, and then your other side's going, no, 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 we can't do that. No, don't do that. Like, and you haven't even like inquired about a class or whatever. What I want to tell you that they're really coming forward is, first of all, you probably already know some of this. You're an empath and you're a healer. Like those are
Hmm.
the biggest things that I'm getting. I don't know if you've learned energy work or a form of energy work or any type of healing modality, but I highly recommend you do because I think it's going to help you to sort of like quiet that negative, that self-assessment. I always call them the inner gremlins, the gremlins that are always like, no, 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 we can't do that. No, 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 don't do that. Don't touch that. That whole thing. I always say they're little gremlins, but it'll help to quiet them down and just allow you to be in that sense of learning this, and your intuitive part will start to expand. Like it'll start to grow and evolve, and before you know it, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm getting stuff. Like, how am I getting stuff? Like, why is this even happening? So it's almost like coming in from a different direction, as opposed to like if you were to take an astrological class or an intuitive class, or it's not that you can't. So I'm not saying you can't, but it seems more like your struggle comes more with that, if that makes sense. So it's sort of like coming from a different direction and just allowing it to expand, because the healing part is almost like yourself would acknowledge that and allow that in some way. And then because you're incredibly gifted, like I'm just going to say you're going to have a lot of things you're going to learn eventually, and probably are already somewhat learning if you're allowing yourself to learn. But I want to almost like, you have such a great, and now I kind of get it because you're Cancer and so am I, and absolutely adore water. And I just keep seeing like a lot of water for you, which is
Yeah.
about like calming down. I always think of the wave, like calming down and just allowing. If you think that the infinity symbol kind of going out and away from you and coming back, and like just put your negative thoughts on that wave and let the wave take it out, and then bring in positivity and love and peace and calmness. And there's a lot of that I want to give you. I feel like you have so much going on. It's so funny. I'm going to show you this picture. And again, this is how pictures, like, look at this person with all this around their head.
Yeah.
Like you got a lot going on there.
Oh yeah.
Like it's almost like I want to go, let's
Hmm.
just like get that all out of there. But your sense of peace and calm, I don't think you've had too much of that in your life up until this point. But
Yes.
meditation will be a thing for you. It'll be a very calming sense for you. And again, what I would say, because a lot of us have the monkey mind, a lot of us will say, I can't sit for 5 minutes and my head's just going. Let it go. Like sit for 5 minutes and just breathe. Focus on just breathing in and breathing out. And don't think about anything. Like if your head's going, let it go. Don't try to fight with it, because then it defeats the purpose of just trying to calm yourself down. You need to allow yourself little moments of just calming down, like just breathing, like everything's going to be okay. And I know that, again, I don't know your family, but what they're telling me is that your family is very escalated. So some of that energy comes from that. It's funny how Colleen talks about the ancestors. Um, there's a lot of that comes from that. Like now it's sort of like now we just need to recreate new habits. So it takes
Yes.
21 days to recreate a new habit and 21 days to release a habit. So, again, give yourself 21 days to just kind of like, I'm just going to, every morning I'm going to wake up and I'm just going to close my eyes and I'm just going to breathe for 5 minutes or however long you can do it. And just do that. Just focus on breathing in as deeply as you can and releasing as deeply as you can. And I think if you start your day that way, calling in whatever guides you choose to believe in, call in Archangel. I work with Archangel Michael, who surrounds me with his shields of protection. That's just things that I do. It'll just start to help to evolve and shift. And I know that you're looking for love. So funny. I keep hearing looking for love in all the wrong places.
Oh my God.
So just saying, just saying. So I want to say, allow yourself to give the love to yourself. Somebody's coming for you, but you need to be prepared for that. Like
Okay.
just prepare yourself. Like the more you can become who you really want to be,
Hmm.
the more somebody can truly get to know who you are.
Okay.
Because It's, like we've been talking about, and again, all of us have been here. There's not one of us that has gone through some of this. I was a people pleaser when I was a kid because, I had to be the good daughter. I had to be the good person. I had to be. And then finally I just let that go. And I said, you know what? This is me. Like it, don't like it. This is just who I am.
Yeah.
It's no longer, I don't need to please anyone but myself. And it's taken me a lot. I was over 600 pounds because of that at one point in my life. So it's a time, it's definitely an awakening for you. And I know that you feel that. And sometimes you feel like you're really pressured with that. It doesn't have to be pressure. It's a really good thing for you. And I don't know you, but I feel like you're an amazing person. And I feel definitely like a lot of people are going to want to get to know you. I do see you teaching at some point. I see you on this holistic path at some point. And I know that's not at all where you ever thought you would see yourself. Me either. So welcome to the club.
Yeah.
But again, I know that you have amazing gifts that need to be shared here. I don't care how old you are, because I feel like you're young. I think you're young when I heard your date of birth. You've got a whole long life ahead of you, so why not live it the way you want to live it? I also know that, speaking of ancestors, I know that your family can be overbearing, so I'll just say that. Um,
Yeah, that's true.
you will start to make choices as to where you feel with that. So again, I'm not saying cut your family out of your life. That's not what I'm saying. But you need to find your place. And
Hmm.
meaning your place, right, wrong, good, bad, doesn't matter. You need to feel good. You need to know this is what you need, and you need to set boundaries there.
Hmm.
And I know
Okay.
sometimes we think, because I did too, we think that because we love our family and we respect them always, that we cannot set our boundaries. And I'm here to tell you that you can, and
Yeah.
that you will start to rework that connection or that non-connection, because I have some people that I had to let go and I have some people that are still connected. So you have to think of where you fit in that
Yeah.
and what really feels right to you. And even if it's only just for today, everything can grow and shift and change.
Yeah.
So with that, you've got a lot of good things coming this year though. That's what I think. I think you've got a lot of really good things. And I know love is not too far away from you, but definitely get some solid groundedness under your belt for you.
Okay. Like,
So
what do you
that
mean by?
when you get in that relationship, you will know I'm fully 50%. I can bring the 50% to this relationship and
Oh,
allow
okay.
them to bring 50% and stop being used and abused.
Yeah, I know that.
Mm,
As a Cancer, as a Cancer in my love life, it's always been either I've been taken advantage of and not being
you're a
really fully
healer.
respected. And yes, actually, I also wanted to give
As a
I
healer,
I
love
have
is an
started.
interesting concept for us, I will tell you, because when we look
Yeah,
at someone as a partner, we see them as how they can be.
yeah,
We don't necessarily see them as how they are right now.
yeah,
So we're always like, oh, I can fix that. Oh, I can fix that. Oh, yeah, I can fix
yeah,
that. And then we realize, oh no, this is like I've gotten over my head. I can't do this.
yeah.
So listen, you're wicked intuitive. When you meet that next person, listen
Hmm.
to your gut. Like listen
Okay.
to that intuition. Believe what the person shows you from the beginning. Don't say, well, we'll go on one more date and let's see. Mm-mm,
Yeah,
mm-mm. We always know that they're not right for us. And yet we still saunter on in there.
yeah, it's true. No, I do want to say that within this past year, I have learned energy healing, like angelic Reiki, holy fire,
Nice.
and Usui Tibetan. So I'm a master already at all of them within like the year and a half
Nice.
because it interested me so much. Um, and it changed how the way I thought, how the way I react to the world, and how the way um, with the five Reiki ideals, I mean, it helped me a whole lot more to change my perspective. Granted, yes, I still need. It's an ever-going process. We take it day by day, but overall, it has changed me. It has changed
Are you working with clients is my big question for you.
me. Right now, no, it's because my work is kind of like really taking the big chunk out of my time, and I'm trying also to get my within this past year, on May 2024, I graduated for to be a licensed massage therapist, but certain events have happened in order that happened that prevented me from taking the state test. And by now, it's already like what 6, 7 months already after, and I kind of forgotten most of the stuff. So I'm trying to restudy and relearn
Nice.
everything.
The interesting thing is once you get your license, because you will,
Mhm.
um, you'll start to do massage, and I feel like
Mhm.
you're going to bring the energy work into, and then the energy work's going to take over because it's going to take you to a whole nother place, and then
Oh,
massage will be like,
definitely. Oh,
do I want to
definitely.
do? Yeah,
Definitely, because when I was doing massage therapy at the because at the school we do certain amount of hours for the massage therapy course, and I did about 300, 350. And with that being said, during the massage, Reiki would flow. I'm like, I would feel that Reiki would flow, and people would leave better and happier than ever. And I'm just like, okay, so this is what more or less what I'm more inclined to do.
absolutely.
So yeah.
Yeah. Let me pass it to Colleen so that she can give you what
Okay.
you need.
Give you what you need. I don't know. I think he already got what he needs because I mean almost everything I'm about to say is like a reiteration of what Kathi already said. It's what they were showing me. First they were showing me the energy that you come in with as a soul. And it's interesting because obviously I or we know that you're a Cancer based on your date of birth, but you also have a lot of like strength, take charge, almost in a way leadership energy about you. When I look at your like name vibration in part, of course, I don't have your full name, but when I look at the date of birth vibration in part, to me, this is like an entrepreneurial kind of energy. Like I feel like you will or should be in business for yourself, like starting your own business. You know, we have to start out working for other people and whatnot, but I feel like you have this ability to kind of just create your own business, and you got this, you know, kind of masculine energy side of this take charge, but you're highly obviously with the Cancer, the nurturing, the healing, the intuitive, and all of that going on as well. So it's an interesting balance that you have, but you're very grounded, you know, with that, with your name and whatnot. Your name vibration is a very grounded name. So I think that that's going to aid you because sometimes when we have a lot of like psychic, healing, intuitive, empathic abilities, we can kind of get lost in that. And I think that you're someone who can kind of balance that out, ground it out, and, you know, not get kind of lost in it. With that empathic ability, they were talking about this more, what do I want to say, expanding more into the empathicness of the earth and the collective. It's more like the Earth Mother. You know, I feel like you can be empathic with people too, and feeling their feelings or picking up on their emotions and feelings. But I think whatever's going on with the planet, with Mother Nature, with Earth Mother Gaia, like when we have, you know, weather-related incidents that cause great damage, I feel like you are very empathically connected to Earth Mother Gaia and what's kind of going on with her. It's like they're almost like saying her heartbeat is connected to your heartbeat and vice versa. And then with the whole idea of being the sensitive, you know, Cancer energy, the intuitive Cancer energy, they were talking about, and maybe even more of a focus for this birthday year that you're in, a need for inner child work and becoming your own kind of like mothering yourself, nurturing yourself, kind of coming, you know, connecting with that inner child that may have been, you know, wounded in the past. Maybe it was in the past in your adult life, you know, through the relationship stuff. Maybe it was childhood stuff. But they're talking about kind of tending to the inner child this year because you just started a birthday year July 1st, and that's going to last until July of 2025. And I feel like it's going to take you more deeply into your inner self. Like they're showing like this inner soul journey, like a shaman's journey. But a lot of it does have to do with healing like family patterns and emotional body energy. And again, that inner child. They were talking about in this birthday year, you're going to go through this huge expansion of consciousness, maybe learning new things. You've already, learned a lot with the different Reikis that you're doing, but there might be more tools again, just like the last person, tools that you're adding on your tool belt. And you might, oh, they just said teaching. Like at some point, you'll be a teacher of some of this stuff. So learning perhaps now, teaching at some point when you feel ready. But your intuitive and psychic sensitivities are through the roof. And I had to chuckle a little bit because Kathi was talking about, and I can't remember her exact words, but she was talking about taking a moment, taking a breather. What were you saying, Kathi, about being in the moment, being quiet in your mind or something like that?
To
And
breathe.
just
Yeah.
as she was talking about that, I pulled this card and it
Mindfulness.
says mindfulness and it says peaceful, present, quiet mind. And so I don't know if you saw me like chuckling over here. I had my audio off, but I was like, okay, this is definitely reiterating what Kathi said, where you need to take those moments for yourself in meditation and self-reflection and healing and whatnot. They said this birthday year, again, that shaman energy of just kind of trusting divine timing, trusting what's unfolding. It might feel a couple times this birthday year like maybe the rug's being pulled out from under you a little bit. They said this past September might have been one of those months, and you might have another month or two in as we go into the new year before you
Okay.
hit your birthday, where it feels like, okay, what's the purpose of this? Why is this happening? I don't understand. I don't have enough information to make it make sense. And it's like that's sort of like that trust and faith and learning to kind of surrender in a sense and know that you are being divinely guided and everything's working the way it should. Now, they said as you move into your next birthday year after July of 2025, then we're moving more into this strong kind of leadership presence. We're moving more into a sense of take charge energy, more of that like that masculine side of things. Whereas right now it's more of the feminine healing and whatnot that's going on. You did have some otherworldly star beings coming in. So being
Hmm.
from another star system, star place, I don't know exactly where it was. But it feels it's interesting because it feels creative, mental, as far as the star system or star being race, but it also feels very loving, intuitive at the same time. So we've got like this connection between the mind and the heart with this race of beings. And they're coming in to assist you as you move forward on your path. And then we did have my very first couple of cards that I pulled. One was they're not necessarily happy cards, but they were talking about financial constraints or financial challenges. And your soul comes in, I think, learning how to balance kind of the spiritual and the physical worlds. It's like I'm having to move through the finances, the money, the living situation, all those physical material things that we as humans have to move through. But with your soul's energy, you're balancing that highly with, again, that trust and faith and spirit and connecting with your angels and guides and receiving guidance from them and knowing that you're being led on the right path and not getting so pulled into the materialistic world um, that this has to be, what results from it. So knowing that I'm co-creator with universe, my thoughts create my reality. I'm able to envision through my meditation sparkly gold light raining down upon me that are like gold coins or abundance of various types. And so whatever this is, I feel like will work itself even more so in the next birthday year. It doesn't mean you're gonna like struggle this whole birthday year, but I feel like you're gonna move into a better place like financially at that time. And then the second card, this goes into that relationship stuff that Kathi was talking about. Um, and they were saying that there's a need to forgive the past or forgive this person or forgive the energy or situation or forgive your responsiveness or whatever, forgive all of it. Rise above it, see it from a higher perspective. What did it teach me? What did I learn from this person? What gifts did I gain? They did say, as far as new relationship, that you have a certain amount of fear. That's kind of, at least in this moment, kind of holding you back from being open to the next person. I think that will all kind of fade and heal in the appropriate timing. So right now there's more like this sense of insecurity or hesitation or fear about it all. And they said this is a time, as far as a relationship is concerned, for like a pause, a wait and see. Let's just be a little patient. Let's do some healing on ourselves, that inner child healing. And they did say, they gave me like the spring as far as a new relationship coming in. And I don't remember if Kathi said a timing for that, but I felt like it was more maybe the spring of 2026. And that doesn't mean that you're not going to be dating or, meeting anybody before then. But I just feel like there's more of a focus maybe on whatever this new positive romantic relationship might be bringing by that time. So you might have like a year and a half or so before that becomes more of a focus. So that is what I got for you, Danny. I hope it was helpful.
Yeah, it was definitely helpful. Um, yeah, it was very no, the financial constraints. I've been feeling it since September, so it's very kind of it just aligns very well. Yeah, and
They said, remember that the universe, God, spirit, whatever you want to term
mhm.
that, they are your partner. Like right now, and always, they're always your partner. Right now, it's like delving more into what does that partnership feel like, look like? How can I, utilize, in a positive way, this partnership to move myself out of any kind of fears or insecurities or doubts or, the material stuff that might be holding me back or the old relationship stuff or whatever. It's like, remember that your angels, guides, healers of the light, those otherworldly beings, whoever they are, they're there to assist and help and guide you. So definitely start calling them in more
Okay.
regularly.
Then probably because with angelic Reiki, we also work with galactic healers. So I probably think that the galactic healer had a message for me or something like that.
Yes,
So
yes,
yeah.
for sure. I'm just trying to see if there was more about that. They were talking about it's like it's almost like I feel like, and I'm not saying that you're going to speak it out loud, but it's like a channeling kind of thing.
Mhm.
I feel like if you connect with them energetically and maybe like write or journal or whatever, what you're getting when you consciously connect with them, it's like there's going to be like some sort of channeled information for you that comes through, some channeled
Okay.
messages. Okay.
Okay. And I have been contemplating on channeling messages. It's just I didn't know more or less how to do it. So okay.
Just make sure that you pull cords, you're clearing your energy field first, you're aligning your chakras, you're doing, your basic meditation and doing all those
Okay.
things. And then conscious, first surrounding yourself in a globe of white light and saying only light can be here, only light beings can come to me or whatever, making that and calling in archangels, ascended masters, whatever to kind of surround you and then connect to your galactic brothers and sisters of the light and say, what do you wish to share with me? And then,
Okay.
have your paper and pen ready.
All right. Thank you. I do appreciate your help.
Yes, you're very welcome. All right. Well, I'm sorry, everybody else. We're about five after, so I think that we have to close out for today. But oh, I didn't write down when the next Cards and Coffee is for December.
15th.
The 15th. December 15th, Sunday, 11 a.m. will be the next Cards and Coffee. You can see it through my meetup group on my meetup page, or ask Kathi or I for the link as we get closer to that time. And sending you all lots of love and light. Thank you so much all for coming and participating and holding space and being here with us all. Kathi, do you want to say anything?
Well, thank you. Thank you all for being here for sure. Absolutely. And of course, Colleen's available for readings. So am I if you guys need any enlightenment. I know that I am doing shorter readings for a smaller amount of money just because I feel like it's a really intense time that people are questioning what's happening in our universe. So if you feel you need that, I also have a psychic fair that's going to be at my space next Saturday, where I will not be there, but this is the newer generation. I'm trying to give them space so that they can be who they are, and they're amazing. They can do FaceTime, Zoom, whatever. So you can always reach out with me, and I can give you that information as well. Because you do not have to go through this alone, and that's a lot of what I want to just let people know is that we are always here for you. And I know Colleen works on the same mindset that I do, that
Mhm.
Money is not an option when somebody really needs your help.
And
So,
in
yeah.
fact, I have a free introductory lecture on December 1st on astrology and numerology. If you want to attend the free lecture and see if that might be something that is of interest to you all, then I'll be in 2025 doing the longer, versions of both of those classes. But this is a little taste of the numerology and astrology. You get to figure out what your life path number is. And I even do a little contest for a free 15-minute reading with me during that. So you can check that out and whatever else, that there is as far as offerings. So again, thank you so much. Sending you all lots of love and light. Have a great rest of your
Absolutely.
weekend and traverse some of these changing energies, especially Pluto moving back into Aquarius on the 19th,
Yay.
holding space for the best and highest outcome for the collective.
Absolutely.
All right.
Be
Thank
well,
you.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.